Great. So, hello, everybody. So, as Brett mentioned, we are lucky at this time of the year that we have a good weather, but sometimes things change and we have hurricanes and you have good weather. Um, Really quick, two things about me. One, I'm originally from Colombia, but been in the US for over 20 years. And number two, I have worked with all the way to global companies like IKEA, Sika, and you name it, all the way to a local dental office. And the reason why I want to have such a big gamut is because there are multiple types of users, buyers, consumers, and at the end of the day, we're all buyers and consumers, and we all talk in different ways. Okay. So basically, let me share my screen really quick, if I find how to. Okay. So basically, what I'm going to be talking about is how to make your website visible in the age of AI. And I know that this is basically a topic that is trending, and there is a lot of news coming out, a lot of in some terms noise, in some other cases research and everything else. And I hope that I'm going to be able to give you some really good takeaways that you can take for your businesses and make them prosper. So before anything else, I want to make sure that we understand that Google is still critical. The fact that we're seeing a shift moving to AI and start using ChatGPT, Perplexity, Claude, everything else, it's great, it's amazing. However, when we compare 14 billion searches compared to 66 million searches, it's just a small change. However, when we look at, okay, we have ChatGPT, we have Perplexity, we have Gemini. This means that as business owners, we need to consider more than Google. It used to be like, hey, you know what? Let's do Google for SEO. Bing will get whatever we can throw out and they can figure out themselves. In this case, the gamut of our options to be displayed has increased drastically. Now, again, it is a small amount of searches that are happening in ChatGPT compared to Google. However, when we look at traffic website, and this is something that you can look in your Google Analytics, you can see that the trend is going up. Yes, and this blue line is ChatGPT, and it comes up and down. And there are a lot of good reasons for that to happen. But when we look also, when we compare it to organic traffic, which is the blue line in this case, you can see that the trend it's going down little by little by little. And in this particular case, this is a company that it's got an application for content creators, and basically they're the top of the line. So when you see this happening to the top of the line, then you start seeing, where is this traffic going? Number one, they're staying Google. They get AI overviews, they get generative results now, so they're staying there. So the no-click result, it's happening, it's true, and it's been happening for over 12 months already. Number two, when you see the green light, the green line, these are the direct traffic. So people that already know your brand, maybe, people or users that basically they're using incognito mode or things like that, but that's a different topic. But if you see there is a little trend, basically it's stagnant, but it tends to go up a little bit. This is key because these users are your evangelists, but more important is that in the age of AI, you're going to start treating your evangelists, or basically your evangelists are going to be looking at you to see how you help them. You already build a brand. So I think that one of the main things is do not create content just for the sake of content. Also think about creating content for making sure that you're pushing your brand forward. Believe it or not, that's a little bit of a new game for SEO people because we used to be like, let me know what everybody else is doing. Let me see what the top three are doing, and I'm just going to make something better. They didn't care too much about the brand. So this is a major shift for people at SEO. Now, if I didn't get to ask this, but if there's some new companies here, or you're launching a new project, a new product, or your website is simply awful, it's time for you to look at your website. This case is a company that basically we got it from scratch, from zero. And just by little, just adding new content. So for all of you that have heard that blog posts, they don't matter anymore, I think it does. It still matters, and I'll explain why a little bit later. But the main thing that this company did, they focus on their website. They care about the users, and more importantly, because of the area where they are, which is electrical safety. If the content is wrong, people can die. Let's say that you want to fix something at your home. Well, if you get a little shock, that's fine. But when you're talking about industrial electricity, you can die by having content that is poorly done, or if you just use AI and copy paste it, people can die. So in this case, they were very crucial about, we want to make sure that we're a safety brand. We want to make sure that our content is vetted by electricians. And that's how we were able to get basically organic traffic when everybody's losing organic traffic. Okay. So um, everybody and basically the SEO industry started like, is it called SEO? Is it called AIO? Is it called AEO, GEO? And just add another acronym to the list. What is the link between all of them? In reality, what we are all trying to do is make sure that we're providing the users with the right answer at the right moment at the right place. Is it Google? Is it ChatGPT? Is it, I don't know, LinkedIn? All of that, it doesn't matter how you want to call it. To me, it's a content strategy with excellent distribution strategy. Okay. So part of that is making sure that the systems are able to know and understand where your content is, how to read it, and how they can access it. So there are three key elements for this. Number one, I call it lucidity. Basically, how can we express or explain to someone who doesn't know us? What do we do in a simple format that is clear, concise, and there is no doubt about it? I will say that this is the number one problem that I see on sites that I help for SEO as well as for AIO. They like to talk a lot about we. Our mission in this world is this one, and we can help everyone with a laptop. And in reality is you build a business to support a specific case. Let's make sure that you're able to specify what that specific case is. Number two, accessibility. And you're gonna be talking probably when I talk about accessibility, many people say like, oh, so are we talking about color contrast? Yes and no. Yes, because again, we're approaching humans. But when we talk about LLMs or AI systems, believe it or not, they're extremely rudimentary when they're looking at content, scrapping content, and understanding how websites work. So something that we need to remember is that search engines have been evolving their ways of crawling websites, scrapping content, understanding content, removing poor content, and things like that for over 2 decades. LLMs are starting at this. So a simple example is if you see a website that moves a lot and it's got a lot of animations, text flying in, and things like that, all of that, LLMs are not going to be able to see it. Is your website accessible for AI? Not really. Number three, and more important, and I'm going to go deeper on this one. This hasn't changed from SEO. You still need to show that you're an expert. So when everybody was like, oh, Google doesn't like AI content, the problem is not that the content is AI generated. The problem is that you're not bringing something new. And that's the problem. Now, three considerations about LLMs. Number one, when we say like, hey, ChatGPT came out with a new version, Perplexity came out with a new version, they have some advancements, new training and things like that, but that is super expensive. So if your new business launched 2 months ago, it may take years for them to figure out what your business does, what it does, and everything else, and to try to put you in a place and things like that. That's why they started to find ways to crawl websites or ask Google, believe it or not, on what is the best answer, because they still need to produce an answer. However, training the model is expensive. So they need quick ways on getting information. Number two, as I said, they're extremely rudimentary. So they do basic content extraction. What that means is think about a user who has got eyesight problems. How are they going to be able to see your website? How are they going to be able to interact with your website? That's how you need to start building your website, your content, and things like that if you want LLMs to actually be able to capture that information. To give you an idea, one of the changes that Google made was they used to be crawl 45 kilobytes of content. And now they're crawling 15 megs of content, excluding images and videos. So just imagine how many 15 megabytes of content, just pure content, is. It's huge. Now, hallucinations. Uh, Probably you have heard about this a lot. This is basically AI making the stuff up because that's their main job is to answer questions. And if they don't know it, they're going to make it up. And that's called an hallucination. Now, can we do something about it? Yes. Are they going to follow it? We don't know. What can we do about it? Well, make sure that we are able to produce, to show that what we do, make sure that we're able to produce, show our expertise, and that will hopefully get to reduce hallucinations, at least in regards to our brand. Now, three things that you can do right now. Number one, review your value proposition. Why start with this? If you are not able to explain what you do on a short, easy way, it's going to be difficult for an AI system to make that connection. And it's going to be a lot more difficult to say if you're good, you're bad, and basically produce any sort of recommendation. Number two, are LLMs able to see my content? So again, we can do tests like that, and that will be interesting. So let me see if I can show you this. This, of course, this is a little bit of an example that I did. This is a website on how it's going to look for LLMs. What I did in this case, I removed JavaScript. Now nothing works. Drop downs doesn't work. Content on the page doesn't work. The only thing that loads are the reviews. That's it. So is your website really crawlable? Understandable for search and for LLMs? Not really. Now, number three is have fun sharing your knowledge. And I know that on our chat we had someone who is from PR. There is a ton of ways of doing this. And if you search for me on LinkedIn, you're going to find a video series called AIAIO. I basically did it for many reasons. One, to stop calling it give it whatever name it is. You need to put your brand out there, put your expertise. You want to call it SEO, AI, geo, whatever you want, fine. Number two, a lot of people wanted to go into AI. However, the basic concepts of websites for them, they're non-existent. So is their website, their company ready for AI? No. So let's go to basics, make sure that we have a good foundation, then start thinking about AI. So have I had fun sharing it? Yes. Number two, my son, who's 7 years old, he kind of became a co-producer, giving me props and things like that. Make it part of your life. Now, so that's basically, those are the three things that I wanted to do. I don't want to go over time. And of course, I do have a little thank you for all of you. One, we created an agent that will help you validate or evaluate your value prop. So if you want to use it, we're going to be showing the links on the chat. And basically, what this agent will help you do is evaluate your value prop, making sure that if you want to see how AI thinks your website should be built, this is a good tool. And number three will give you a list of 5 topics with subtopics that you could cover just to make sure that your brand is talking about the right things that should be talking about. Thank you, give number two. We use a lot of AI, but not enough to go crazy. So this is I'm giving a window to show what we use at Navigamo to create content, to build our websites, to position our clients in AI. Of course, this to me, these are just tools. The secret sauce is in how we use them in all the processes. But take a look at it. You may actually find your own process, and they'll work probably as efficient as ours. And number three, let's connect on LinkedIn. I know that you guys are trying to build a community. I want to be part of that community. Once you do, I'll be sending you an ebook called Entity-Based SEO that actually works. And for anyone on the call that doesn't know what this is a major shift that search engines move from search engines and LLMs. They don't care too much about your keywords. They care about how deep and how well you cover a topic, and just keywords flow naturally. So this guide explains a little bit on how that process works. And that's what I had for you guys today.
Awesome. Thank you, Blas. Um, we have several questions coming in, so I'm going to just start with these and we'll get through as many as we can. So if anyone has any other questions, feel free to drop those in the chat. So the first question is from Todd. Is there anything that used to work for visibility but absolutely doesn't work anymore?
Yes, I love that question. As I said, in previous SEO, it was like, let me have your list of keywords. I track who are the top 10 competitors and I see what are they doing that works. And then I just add a little bit, and now I'm ranking it top three. One of the latest algorithm change from last year, Google decided to purge their index. So if you're not bringing valuable content, they're literally kicking you out. If you're not bringing something new to a conversation, they're kicking you out. If they have 5 million pages talking about the same stuff, probably they just need 100. So that's what I'm saying. Have fun showing your expertise. Do not copy paste from AI, because AI it's gonna write really cool stuff from all concepts. It's not gonna be able to drive something new.
Which Marion had asked a question that maybe dovetails into this. How often should we update our site? And is there kind of a rule of thumb around that?
Okay, that's another good question. So my recommendation is think about your users. So, and make sure that whenever you update your website and your content, it's something of value. So I want to try. I know that you're trying to find out, velocity, or how can we prioritize and workflows and things like that. My recommendation for you is stop thinking a little bit about too much about how often, and move that lever to how much quality do I need to present on my website.
Okay, that's great. Mike had asked a question. Is it possible to ask your AI agent to validate their hallucinations?
The agent that I just created.
Um, I don't know. Mike, if you want to pop in here, if you have any clarification on that. I don't
Yeah,
know if it was, yeah,
yeah.
just generic.
Say you ask AI about something and maybe a legal matter, and it quotes case laws. And can you say validate those case laws, or maybe take it to another agent and say, validate this?
That's always a best practice. Like and kind of a fun story. I kind of give a presentation at my kids' school. They're second graders, and they actually don't believe what ChatGPT and Google said. They always try to validate with a book. So my recommendation, especially for legal matters, I will try to either try to combine that with that. That's why personally I don't have just a ChatGPT account. I have all 4 of them.
Yeah.
That's also the reason we created a platform called Nemo that allows me or allows everyone to create an agent. And that's why I decide basically you can test with different LLMs. So you can have different answers and combine things. Is because you definitely want to do that. And the more critical the content, definitely uh, try to validate their answers.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Thank you.
And then there's another question that I think is really great. So thinking about, a new company who's maybe limited on funding, um, is there a way to get started with a quality website that they wouldn't be embarrassed about? And then like what would be your recommendation? So thinking about early stage startup company just getting going, what's your recommendation for getting a good website or a valuable website up, without spending a ton of money?
Okay. I love that question, and we work a lot with the startups. The first question is, do you want to build a website or a business? And the reason why I say that is because if you need a website, then you can use a builder like WordPress. There is a ton of there's a ton of templates that you can use where you don't need to have a developer going in and do stuff. If you want to build a business, that means that do you want to integrate your lead generation with your emails, with probably your social and things like that? In that case, I recommend Wix. And the reason why we do that, there's a couple of reasons. One, the technical part of it allows you to do fun stuff on the website, but there is still visible to search engines and LLMs. And number two, it gives you a whole infrastructure so you can build your business digitally. In terms of content, you're in a good place of right now creating content is not as it can be expensive if you want to hire a copywriter, which is usually what it takes a lot of your uh, investment. However, right now, all the AI tools and everything else is more of try to use AI as much as you can to get the ball rolling. At the beginning, you need to be able to, again, be good and clear about what you do, how you help your customers, and what your solution is all about. And later you can make it nicer and, marketable. But at the beginning, make sure that you are very clear on what you do.
Does Google or any other tools check for AI copywriting on websites and Dean, or is that something that's done at all that you're aware of?
So they do check if content is created using AI. Yes. Again, that's what I'm saying. Use AI to get yourself up to 70, 80%, 90%, but always make sure that either A, you're having a conversation with the agent and making sure that you're bringing additional value, and always be critical. At the end of the day, whatever your website says is your voice, is your company. So if you don't follow that, basically you're leaving the AI build just whatever you're going to be trying to sell.
Okay. No, I appreciate. Thank you for all of the questions, and Blas, thank you for walking us through this and for the answers. This has been really great. So, with that, thank you all for joining and for, being part of the Midday Connect community. Our goal here is to have meaningful insights each week that people can get to know one another and network and then learn something that may be of value that they can tie into the business that they're working in and building. So thank you. We appreciate you and your time being here. So hopefully everyone has a great afternoon and a great holiday this week. So happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Thank you. Same to you.